Adam Smith, architect of modern economics. Adam Smith, a Scottish philosopher, revolutionized economic thought. His book, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, laid the foundation for modern economics. But how do his theories apply to today's discussions on equality, diversity and inclusion, EDI, and outsourced public services? His key arguments centered around free markets and individual self-interest. The invisible hand concept remains a cornerstone of capitalist ideology. Smith argued for limited government intervention, focusing on property rights and contracts. The invisible hand is perhaps Smith's most enduring metaphor. It describes the unintended social benefits that arise from individual actions motivated by self-interest. In a free market, businesses compete to provide goods and services that consumers demand. This competition, driven by the pursuit of profit, theoretically leads to innovation, efficiency, and lower prices for consumers. For example, when a baker or butcher provides goods, they don't do it out of kindness. They do it because it benefits them. Yet society as a whole gains access to food and resources as a result. The invisible hand, however, is not without its critics. Detractors argue that unchecked self-interest can lead to exploitation, inequality, and market failures. They point to instances where companies prioritize profit over ethical considerations, such as environmental protection or worker safety. Governments play a delicate balancing act. Smith believed in limited government intervention in the market. He argued that governments should focus on providing essential public goods. However, he also recognized the need for some regulation to prevent monopolies and ensure fair competition. The balance between free markets and government intervention remains a contentious issue today. The outsourcing of public services in the UK has become increasingly prevalent in recent decades. Driven by a desire to reduce costs and a presumed improvement of efficiency, governments have contracted private companies to deliver services traditionally provided by the public sector. However, concerns have been raised about declining service quality, job losses, and a lack of transparency in the bidding and contracting process. Economists, such as Mariana Mazzucato and Rosie Collington, observe that outsourcing public services leads to a decline in service quality, lowers payment rates for workers, even rendering those workers dependent on state benefits, which contradicts the initial aim of outsourcing, reducing costs for the state, in addition to reducing public institutes' internal capacity, thereby creating an unhealthy long-term dependency on profit-oriented companies. This is especially true in the outsourced public service interpreting. Interpreters are paid shockingly low rates for skilled, vital work. Their work can have life-changing or even life-saving consequences. Also, interpreters face the insecurity of losing thousands in unpaid wages in case one of the companies goes bust, like what happened in 2019 when Debonair Languages, a subcontractor of the Big Word, announced it fell into administration and ceased operations. Also, tragic failures in the outsourced public service interpreting are causing or contributing to miscarriages of justice in police and court systems, and to bodily harm to patients and potentially death due to poor healthcare access, as recently documented by BBC. Consequently, the outsourced public service interpreting seems to encompass several forms of social injustice, including exploitation, marginalization, and underemployment. So, what would Adam Smith say about this? While he championed the efficiency of markets, he also warned of the dangers when profit is prioritized over people. Today, we need to rethink how outsourcing and EDI principles align with the values of fairness, quality, and inclusion in our public services, promoting accountability, financial transparency, and rigid quality control protocols.